To give a little bit of help with the measurement section in Math 003, you can watch this video to help with those conversions. I do want to remind everyone that there is a formula sheet in Blackboard that you are able to use while you're working in EdReady, as well as when you are taking your test. It is under Course Resources, and then if you scroll down, you'll see a file called Mathematics Chart, and that is the formula sheet that you are allowed to use. So I'm going to do a couple of examples, and then if you have any questions, of course you can always ask me or your instructor. So I'm going to begin with 5.5 feet equals how many inches? And if you get in the habit of setting up unit fractions, it will make it much easier as you move to more difficult problems. So 5.5 is the same as 5.5 feet, and it's a whole number, so over 1. And then we're going to convert. So if I need feet to go to inches, I'm going to have to cancel my feet diagonally, and inches will then go in the numerator, and 1 foot has 12 inches. Then we will be canceling our feet, and we'll just be multiplying across here. So you'll do 5.5 times 12, and that gives you 66 inches. The reason I'm not really worried about that denominator right now is because it's just 1 times 1, and that is 1. So let's look at another example. If I have, let's say, 234 inches, and I want to find out how many yards. So we're going to still set up this unit fraction. So let's do 234 inches. You're always starting with what you're given over 1 times. And now we need to get from inches to yards. So you can do that in steps. You can say there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And then there's 3 feet in 1 yard. And then we'll go through and cancel out those units. So inches cancel, feet cancel, that leaves us with yards. And now we'll go through and do our multiplication. So we're going to do 234 times 1, which is 234. And 1 times 12 times 3, which gives us 36. And again, we're just left with yards. And now you can finish with division. So 234 divided by 36, and you get 6.5 yards. So if I'm looking at the metric system, I like to, if I'm only staying within the metric system, I like to look at it as the just the kilo, hectodeca, your base unit, deci, centimilla. This is also on your mathematics chart. So I'm just going to write in kilometer. Now, again, remember the meter, liter, gram can change in these. So this could be a G or an L in each case. And then we've got meter, and then deci, centa, milla. Okay. If I gave you something like 24 centimeters and asked, well, how many meters is that? Because we're working only inside of the metric system, you can just simply move decimal points around. So if I start at centimeter and I move up 2 places, then I can do the same thing here. So there's an understood decimal at the end of 24, and then go 1, 2. So your answer here is 0.24 meters. Okay, let's do that again. I can do the same thing. Let's say it's grams, and I say I have 3 kilograms. How many centigrams is that going to be? So if you go down this time, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put our decimal and then move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll need to fill all of these places in with zeros. So then your answer here would be 300,000 centigrams. So again, within the metric system, all you have to do is simply move your decimal point. But if we are going between the two U.S. customary and the metric system, you need to set up those unit conversions again. So let's say that I have 5 meters and I want to know how many yards that is equivalent to. So I'm going to do 5 meters over 1. And if you're looking at your chart, you'll see that 1 meter is equivalent to 1.09 yards. And then you can just multiply across 5 times 1.09 and you get 5.45 yards. Let's look at if I have miles. So let's do miles to centimeters. So let's say I have 1.5 miles equals how many centimeters. So you are going to have to do a couple steps here. 1.5 miles over 1 times, and we need to cancel our miles first. So if you're looking at your chart, we see miles to kilometers, which would be really easy for us to convert to. So 1 mile has 1.61 kilometers. Miles cancel. And I'm going to go ahead and figure this out and then do that easy metric conversion from kilometers to centimeters. So 1.5 times 1.61, 2.415 kilometers. And then just remember, if you want to write that down, so kilo, and we're working with meters. Meter, decameter, meter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. Okay, so we're moving from kilometers down to centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have to add some zeros in here. So 1500. So that's 241,500 centimeters in 1.5 miles. You may also have to convert compound units sometime. So let's say that I want to find out 35 miles per hour is how much in feet per second. So here you're going to be doing 2 different unit conversions, but we're going to just keep it as one big conversion factors. So we've got 35 miles per 1 hour. So notice now I have a unit in the denominator because I have a per here. So I need to get my miles to feet and my hours to seconds. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on those miles. 1 mile, again, you're looking at your formula sheet here. It has 5,280 feet. And then we'll go from hours to seconds. So you can do 1 hour has 60 minutes and 1 minute has 60 seconds. And now we'll go through and cancel. So I've canceled my miles. And now I'm going to cancel my hours and cancel my minutes. So now all that you should see left here is your feet over seconds. we're going to do the same thing we were doing, multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators and finish with division. So 35 times 5,280 times 1 times 1, and that gives you 184,800. And then that denominator, 1 times 60 times 60 gives you 3,600. And then we'll finish with the division. So that's 51.3 repeating feet per second. And because we see that 3 repeating, that's actually 51 1/3 feet per second if you want to give an exact answer. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'm happy to help.